race announcers and host of our Buffalo Marathon show. And we are so excited. I think we're less than 6 weeks out now. And we have some good stuff in store for you this year. I mean, we always do, but it's going to be pretty fantastic. Also, as I move around, you're going to see these white dots across my head. I am not growing things. It's the sun. It's the sun. And who can argue with the sun? So welcome to our show. Your rules are that you engage with us. If you have questions, please use the comment section to ask them. If you have comments, use the comment section. And I want to put you to work right away. Tell us how many Buffalo Marathon weekends you have already participated in, or if this is going to be your first one. And now the stars of the show, we have not one, but two extraordinary race directors, because you deserve double good stuff. And we're going to start with Mr. Rich Clark and Greg Weber. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Ciao. I'm learning Italian.
What did you say, Greg?
Ciao, I'm learning Italian.
Ciao, I like that.
That makes sense why he puts that in all of his emails now.
Yes, I changed for Mola.
You did.
So
Apparently, I might be going to Italy in the future. So,
is that right?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. We've got Scott Gregory, third Buffalo Marathon. This is
Nice.
Michael's first. Welcome, Michael. Nathan Ostrander. Nathan, I've seen you at other races before. Scott Gregory. Oh, hello, Richard. He's formal with you.
Who is the furthest away right now? Oh, it's Megan. Hi, Grandpa. There you go.
Oh, that's so nice, Patrick. My favorite
Sounds
runner.
good.
Thank
Nice.
you. I know. Best race ever.
Tim Kaufman.
Tim Coffin. What a great success story. He has a brand new book out. Tell us the name of the book, Tim. It's not off the top of my head, but it's fantastic.
First marathon ever.
Very excited. And they've trusted Buffalo with the first marathon. That's a very big deal.
That's awesome.
It's like, who's doing their first marathon that's not from Buffalo, that has traveled to Buffalo, and why?
Okay. I like that question. If you're doing your
Anybody?
first, why do you choose Buffalo? Okay, guys. So we have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. We have an incredible athlete guide that just came out, and we know so many people have questions while they're still planning their attack. So Greg, you want to give a start?
Sure. I mean, we decided to do this tonight because the guide we just released it. I mean, I have to give major props to my daughter, who's been doing this for years. I think it's 74 or 75 pages that she's worked on tirelessly as we've sent her updates. We will promise you it's 98% accurate. You will probably find a typo here or there. And we will correct and put out a second version, but we encourage you to go through this. Rich handles all things safety. I handle all things customer service. So we work tirelessly to answer these questions. The guide should have your answers in it. If it doesn't, we will add them, and we will add them to the frequently asked questions. But please look there first. We do have this party for 8,000 of our closest friends. So we'll do what we can for you.
Yeah, and let's get down to business. I mean, it will sell out. You keep posting the percentages of how much each race, each distance is sold out, and we're coming close. So expand upon that, please.
This was the first year, actually. Rich and I think it's our 9th year now that we've been doing this. The first year we had sellouts. This is the first year we actually sold out races in February, being the kids' races, which was great. And the kids' races are free. I always wondered why they didn't sell out earlier. And so we have that. And then the full followed after that, and the 5K, both the run and the walk are sold out. The nice thing for the full and the 5Ks are we still have community slots. We take that name from Ironman's charity slots, and people can pay a little extra and do some fundraising and still get into the race. The marathon still has entries. You just need to do a community slot, and there's a code online. And if you put up a message, I'll put it up. I think it's 20,004-H2H Lolly. I mean, I can send it to people. They can register for free, right? So, I mean, it's amazing. They can register for them. If they look at it, I'm a numbers guy. So if you look at it and say you register for the marathon for free, you were going to pay $145 at this point. So you're already, 30% of the way to your goal? and you poke your friends and you'll be at 500 before you know it. So it's a great way to still get in and make a difference in the community, because that's what we're about.
Yeah, and you certainly do a lot of fundraising. Rich?
I'm a numbers guy too, and I keep telling them, no, we can't add 6,000 more people on the course.
And as your numbers race announcer, I can tell you that, yes, we can. We can add as many people as we want, because I want them all, and they make me happy. So find a way, gentlemen. Find a way.
That is true. I will add to that, since there's people online, we can expand the race course or the capacity. But so everybody online understands, we pick a number in January based on registrations and trending, because we have to order our supplies in January. Those shirts you get, those medals you get, they were ordered back in January. So when we say we're sold out, it's not capacity of the course that's having us sell out. It's making sure everybody gets a medal at the finish line that has us selling out. So it's something that people don't think of. We can't go down to Walmart and just pick up another 500 shirts. And not only that, we can't go down to Walmart and pick up another 3,000 cups or 300,000 cups for the water stop. So this is all a logistical problem.
Or 24,000 safety pins.
Yeah, there you go. 24,000 safety pins. Go into Walmart tomorrow and see if you can buy that.
Okay, so I am going to offer up, if we make room for 6,000 more, I will give them all a finisher hug at the end instead of a shirt and a medal. That will be their reward. What do you think? Do you think that will go over like a ton of bricks, or?
I think it'll be, go ahead.
I think a bunch of people will like it, and then there may be some others that don't like it.
Let's say no thanks. You could keep
it.
No thanks. Yeah, no thanks.
I think the people finishing at the end who might be doing their first marathon will probably not be as happy with that as they would be with their first finisher's medal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, speaking of which, I mean, we talked about it in November. Our medal this year, for the first time, was designed by a local artist, Paul, and I could kill his last name, so I'm not even going to try. And he did a great job. It pays tribute to Frank Lloyd Wright and the 7 houses we have in Buffalo. It incorporated the Buffalo theme, and we stepped it up and we've taken that theme, and Paul literally just finished designing all the race bibs this year that will follow the theme of the medal. So we're working the theme this year.
I love it. I love it. That sounds very fun. Hey guys, let's take a moment to recognize Julie from Utica area. It was her husband's 40th birthday present to her. That's very exciting. What a nice gift, right?
He wanted to get rid of you for 3 or 4 hours, so he had some free time.
Or maybe give her 3 or 4 hours alone by herself, not to be bothered by her family.
Ooh, burn. I like
it. There you go.
And then Brian, inspired by watching his son last year, is in St. Catharines, Ontario, and he's in the walk. Oh, he's going to do the 5K
That's
walk.
Awesome, yeah.
Yep, yeah.
Let's discuss the 5K walk this year. This makes me happy.
Yes, so we were actually, I give credit where credit is due. That was our volunteer director, Peggy's idea. While we were visiting you in Gasparilla, we saw a walk for 8,000 people. And she said, let's add a walk. And I said, let's give that a try. And I called up Rich. I said, can you make room? And Rich said, I'll make room, but we're only going to get one person. And the first day we got 50. And last year we had like 200. So it'll be about 200 again this year.
And I ate a bunch of crow on that.
Yep. And right now, the spots are $75. They're community spots. But every dime of that $75 goes to the hospital to support cardiac care in our area. The race doesn't keep anything. It's just come out, do the race, get the swag. We take all of the money you paid and donate it to the hospital.
So great. So great. Yeah, the walk is a brilliant idea because it's the same exact course, same exact shirt, medal. It's all the same. But so many people, they say, oh, I would do it, but I can't run. And we go, we don't care if you run. You can walk the whole way. And they go, no, I'm going to be around runners. It's so weird. So if you just call it a walk, then they go, oh, there's a spot for me. So it's
non-competitive. The nice thing is it makes a difference in the community.
Yeah.
And last year, watching them come down Delaware Ave, they were just having a glorious time, chatting, enjoying the views. It was really nice to see them participating last year.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And you know what? It's also going to make a big difference, not only to the community, but to Brian, because Brian said,
Mhm.
I can do this. So
I
we're
can
excited.
participate.
Moperian, Brian, you're going to help us out with that. I'm going to be saying your
And
name.
you're gonna get some cool swag and cool finishers pictures at the finish line. So yeah, it'll be great.
Craig Jeff, first marathon ever. He's a Canadian. That's fun. Ah, look at this. Darren Thomas, stylish profile picture, doing his first. I love this. It's very exciting when people commit to their first marathon with us. And then Kel from Utica, also first marathon from Philly. We're excited to have you.
Well, and Fitz, you can speak to this for the people doing their first ones. I mean, you travel all over the country, and we'll have 7,000 or 8,000 people, probably 5,500 on race day on Sunday. Everybody else is on Saturday. Rich and I, since we took over, have strived to give the athletes a first-class experience. We have strived to make this big-time race appeal with small town appeal, or big-time race feel with small town appeal. You can talk to what the atmosphere is like around this race better because you do 30,000 person races.
Yeah, I do races of all sorts, and I do a lot of bragging about Buffalo, and I can say that all of my races are fantastic because, I'm the cherry on top. If I show up at an event, if someone's invested in me, you know that they've done their due diligence with the start line and the finish and the medals and all of these things. Usually a professional announcer is something where we go, you know what, we're there. Let's go for it. But yeah, you have it all in Buffalo. My favorite part is all the red, white, and blue. It's so patriotic. You come to Buffalo on Memorial Day weekend, you feel like the happiest American on earth. And then you have an event for everybody, literally from birth to, however old you can get. There's something for everybody. I love the diaper dash, and the kids are so joyful, and it's such a great opportunity for them to get exposure to our racing community, and for them to each and every one of them have success. And the cheering squads, those people get inspired by our athletes. They go, okay, well, if that person could do it, maybe I can do it. And then it's just you're not lacking anything compared to the Boston Marathon. I ran Boston. It's awesome, but you have nothing less than Boston. There's just bigger. So I especially the people that are doing their first marathon or half or whatever, they've chosen well, because you know what it's like. There's all these local yokel races where you get no bells and whistles and probably no shirt and none of the stuff. You are providing everything, and I can't call it quaint, right? But it's awesome, and the energy is so great. It's the type of energy that just fuels me for the next 6 months. I love it.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, Dave McGilvray, the race director of Boston, was actually here a few years back, and for our cardiac talk, because he had triple bypass surgery, and it was the second time he had been to Buffalo. The first year was when Rich and I took over, and I remember him standing up saying, "I don't know how these two do it," because awesome. I put on one marathon on a Monday. He said, these guys have got like 16 events going on for the weekend. He goes, I don't know how they keep it all straight. And I can tell you, we keep it all straight, A, because Rich is the best at what he does, and B, we have great volunteers and great people on the committee that just make sure it all happens. They make us look great every year. So,
well, you're excellent leaders. And again, you have all the stuff. You've got the pasta party and the keynote speaker. We have the happy hour. We've got all sorts of things for everybody. And then the live music on Friday, and the fireworks, and then the bark crawl. And it's just, if you're coming and you've not been here before, trust me, it's excessive, and you're going to have all of the opportunities in the world. And I encourage you to at least pop into everything. If you're only running on Sunday, make sure you come out on Saturday, not only to enjoy the expo, but to watch the kids run and the 5Ks. And it's
I would have them start on Friday night, block from the finish line at Chippewa for the happy hour and fireworks. There's going to be street music, and it's just really the kickoff of summer in Buffalo. And come on out. I mean, the Rec Room and Soho and Frankie Primo's and the Chippewa Alliance are sponsoring a street party, and the marathon's bringing the fireworks at 9:00. And our guy Matt from Western New York Skylighters that does the fireworks, his goal is to not disappoint Rich and I. So he empties his shed and he brings everything he can find. So last year it was pretty cool, and I think this year he'll step it up again. I hope he's watching.
Okay, I'm going to start hitting you guys with questions. Viewers, runners, athletes, this is your time to start pelting Greg and Rich with any questions you have. And we're starting off with Becky Robinson, who I go, Becky, ew, but I know it's a thing. She wants to know if you will have pickle juice available this year.
Yes, we will. Greg secured a nice partner with us for the marathon last year, and they provided all the pickle juice on the course. And we once again will have that. Even our medical aid station or our medical team on bicycles will be carrying it. So if you're in between aid stations or maybe you couldn't find it at the last, you can just shout out to them and they should have it for you.
Yep. And that's the medical team that'll have it, not the normal volunteers.
Okay, because that would be super funny if somebody thought they were getting Gatorade, for example.
That actually would be very funny.
No,
but you better be careful in Buffalo because it might be pickle juice and something else with it.
Oh, a little juice tequila. That's nice. That's
Goodness,
real nice.
That's funny.
And I've actually never drank pickle juice. I'm a big fan of the pickle, but is it in a shot glass or how do people?
That sounded so bad.
Well,
I
usually take the jar out of the refrigerator, take the lid off, and drink it out of the pickle jar.
Really?
But on the course, it'll be in cups, and the medical team will have it in little bottles.
Okay.
But there might be a Diet Coke bottle sitting on the stage with pickle juice in it.
Oh, God.
I know where you live. Yeah, so I'll take it. Decaffeinated Diet Coke. I want all the runners to know that if you want your name called out with even greater enthusiasm, dropping by the start line with some decaffeinated Diet Coke or chocolate is it's a nice way to get that done. No pickle juice, thank you. Okay, this is a nice question. Brian again, walking on Saturday. How does he volunteer on Sunday?
Rich?
Well, we are in the convention center. We will actually have a place for walk-in volunteers to go in and sign up. So when you go into the convention center, instead of taking a right to where you're going to go pick up your packet for walking, you're going to take a left and you're going to head towards the volunteer area. And you're going to look for Peg. She is our volunteer coordinator, and she'll be manning up the indoor station for people like you to take advantage of helping.
Oh, that's so
Thank you. And thank you. And if you want to email Peggy beforehand, you can email volunteer@buffalomarathon.org for anybody who wants to volunteer. And if they want to bring a group, we have a grant program. So she's the person to talk to.
And you can never have too many volunteers. It's I've been race directing since 1997. I've never had the opportunity to say, you know what, we have too many. We got to turn you away. It's never happened.
Yeah, and if you're coming with spectators, fans, friends, whoever, enemies, whatever, get them involved, and you can do that in advance if there's not a spot in that 5K walk left. Because everybody, if you're coming to Buffalo, you might as well at least do the walk. But yeah, go there and register your people so they can participate, and that probably will give them great access to take pictures of you while you run by them on the course.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, this is important. Jackie and Tim Patton will be scavenging for Diet Coke. So decaf, I know it's harder to find, but it's so worth it. Oh, and then we're getting a little chocolate plug here. Watson's Chocolates on Elmwood.
That's good stuff.
Okay.
That's really good stuff.
We're learning all the things. Okay, Craig Jeffs has a great question. What kind of Gatorade and what gel is on for the marathon?
We have regular Gatorade, and then there's 3 other flavors off the top of my head. I cannot remember, but it is in the guide. And then we have Goo this year, which I cannot remember the flavors off the top of my head, but it is also in the athlete guide.
I know that I can talk to the Gatorade. I can't. He's got a plethora of gel. My attitude with gel is it weighs 1.5 ounces. If you really have a flavor you like, carry it. You don't need a turkey dinner. And the Gatorade will be at every aid station, and we haven't talked to our hydration person, but I know there's a supply problem, so it will not be lemon lime. Has he solved that?
The flavors are already in the athlete guide. There is lemon lime and some other flavors.
Right, but we don't know where it's going to be on the back.
Oh, yes, correct. That is correct.
I think the plan right now is to try to get all the lemon lime on the front and then alternate them on the back. But we'll try. We'll have that answer come the next time we do this on the Tuesday before the race.
Okay. It's very important that everybody know this is every time you pick up a glass of Gatorade or a cup of Gatorade and drink it, you must say, "Go Gators." That's right. It was invented for the Florida Gator football team. So just a rule.
It
So
was, yeah, you're right.
you drink
Really?
Gatorade,
I
you have
learned,
go
I
And it
Gators.
was
learned
in a
something
glass
new, right?
jar.
What did you say, Greg?
I learned something new. Okay.
Yeah. So go Gators. And it's required. The chomping is a bonus. You get extra points if you chomp while you were saying that. I'm not sure where this came from, but Kevin wants us all to know that milk was a bad choice. And here we're going to leave that there.
Okay.
We've never served milk on the course, so it could have, maybe it was a house serving lattes.
It was a bad choice. I just want to get that out there. Thank you for that comment. Okay, Nathan, if I want to bring my own hydration during the race, are there places where he can safely leave it? And what do you think he means by that, Rich?
Well, I know, like, if I would go do a long run, maybe I'm going to do like 5 miles out, 5 miles back. At the midway point, I might stash it somewhere. I could pick up a bottle on the way out, a bottle on the way back, or, like that. Ooh, I've never actually really thought about that. If it was me, I would probably look at the course and try to find a place that I'm going to definitely be going out and back, which would be Delaware Avenue. Maybe at the little boy statue at the 18-mile mark at the top of the hill in Delaware Park could be another good location. I guess the problem would be accessing those locations prior to the race, and then also not having law enforcement wondering what you're doing while you're doing that. So keep that in mind.
You know what?
Water is a good choice.
Yeah, Nathan, there are so many wonderful hydration belts and vests and things that you could run with if that's a real concern for you. Maybe look into that. I would worry, like if my kid wanted to leave a drink out in a busy city on a busy race day and then go drink it, I would be a little concerned. So maybe Nathan, drink what we're offering or get a vest.
Yeah, and Nathan, if you haven't been here and you haven't looked at the guide or the map yet, the aid stations on the front are every 2 miles. And they're every mile on the back. So it's not like you're going to be running for 6 or 7 miles trying to get to an aid station.
That's good advice. And we have such great comments coming in. I really like this. Robert wants us to know that the Italians pronounce it Gottarad. So go Godders. Thank you. Okay. All right. Here's another great question from GF Coyle. Was surprised by a huge hill in a half marathon. What mileage on the course has the steepest, longest hill?
It wasn't our marathon that surprised them. Do you want to take? I know what I would say, Rich, but do you?
I hate to say this, but I really wouldn't call anything on our course a hill.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a hill. It's a very I would call it undulating. I mean, if anything, the first mile and a half from the start line going up has an incline, which when I've run it, I found it good because it takes the adrenaline out. So you're not running downhill, but there's really nothing. There's no bridges, overpasses. I mean,
maybe a 1% incline up Delaware Ave at the start, maybe.
Maybe at Delaware Park in mile 18.
But he said half marathon. So
I think he was surprised at a previous half marathon. So he's wondering if there's anything that's going to surprise him in Buffalo.
I would say no, just a gentle incline for the first mile and a half at most.
Yeah, we work very closely with the city. We had all the hills removed.
You guys are powerful. That's what everybody needs to know. All right, sweet Jackie Deschamps. Can we wear hydration vests?
Yes, you can wear a hydration vest. Just keep in mind you may be subject to search when you're entering the contained area for athletes at the start line and heading towards your or the starting area and then headed towards the start line, just for your safety and everyone else's safety, please.
Fair enough. Will there be pacers?
Yes, there's lots of pacers. I think right now we have 38 of them signed up, and they will be carrying little sticks with their little sign sponsored by Runner's Roost. There'll be the Runner's Roost Pacer group. And to stage yourself in the starting area, we also have Pacer flags. So if you can't find the guy or gal holding the little sign, you could also line yourself up according to where the flags are based on your pace.
And nobody will necessarily notice this, but it's it's near and dear to my heart. Rich has finally upgraded all the flags on the course, so they now match the rest of the branding around the race course. It was our old branding, so now every flag on the course has been rebranded and true to form. And there are even things, Fitz, that you will not know about till race day. Rich and I have got a few things up our sleeves. So anybody who knows us, I mean, they always ask us what's new this year. There are definitely some new things coming that other race directors around the country will say, "What are you guys thinking?" And it won't be the first time.
I am so freaking excited about this. I've been planning this for 3 years, and it's finally going to happen. It's finally going to happen.
Yep. We hope. The guy who was partially responsible had open heart surgery, so
it's going to happen.
We're working on it, but it is going to be what we're planning. If it comes together the way Rich and I envision it, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. I hate to say it. It's going to be cooler than the fireworks.
Well, that's fantastic. That's exciting. And then I have more to brag about when I leave Buffalo. Yeah.
Yes,
oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. While we're here, I'm making a flag request. Not so many flags between Rudy and I's stage and the runners coming in.
We've already taken care of it.
Thank you very much.
We have not cut down the tree though.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt the tree, but maybe we just move our stage in closer to the road. Wasn't that?
I'll do my best. That's all I can say right now. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Okay, please and thank you. Okie dokie. Is this a new course?
Actually, no. We've had this course for, I think 3 or 4 years now. We had one minor change because the major park in the area, LaSalle Park, now I think known as Centennial Park, is under some major renovations. So we have gone on to the city streets for that part of the course. But other than that, nope, same course for the last 3 years, maybe 4 off the top of my head.
And the profile on our race website should be accurate. We can't speak for other race websites.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Kel's got a great question. Kel wants to know what kind of causes are you supporting?
We in the guide.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Yeah, this is one of those things that's near and dear to Rich and I when we took over. We wanted it to be about athlete experience, give them first-rate experience, and make a difference in the community. When we took over, the race had been in existence for 13 years, and they had given money to 3 charities in the tune of about $200,000. With the help of the runners, the volunteers, and all of our sponsors, we have been able to direct back somewhere around 1.6 million in the last 9 years, and we've expanded that to 50 groups or more. And many of the groups that are out there supporting you and the volunteers, make sure you thank them. They come from not-for-profits and they filled out grants. And by bringing volunteers and helping us do the race, we give them a grant. If you have a group that needs a grant, we're not going to give it to you for free. You got to help us. There's got to be something in to help the community. And so every year we give back about $200,000. So cardiac care at Kaleida, Buffalo General, GVI, they're number 1 on the list. Our heart-to-heart runners. We've done a lot at the hospital. American Red Cross is coming in big for us this year with a lot of volunteers on the street. We do a food bank in Hamburg. We do a hockey club, the 11-day power play. All you have to do is go down the list. I mean, it's incredible the number of groups we sponsor. And many of them are small. They're not the big name groups. So we are the lion's share of their budget for the year. So it's a great give and take with the community. And it's something that really drives us to do this.
Love it. A perfect answer. While we're here, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you're following Buffalo Marathon on Instagram and on Facebook. That's a good way to make sure you get all the updates. You should be inundated. If you're investing in this big race adventure, this big race weekend, you want to make sure you're getting all the updates and know what's going on. So
39 days away, but who's counting?
Who's counting? Who's counting?
So much to do.
All right. And this is a great question. I think someone got inspired yesterday from Wafa.
Yes,
is it a Boston qualifier?
Oh, heck yeah, it is. Boston qualifier all the way. Actually, I qualified for the Boston Marathon running the Buffalo Marathon back when it was the race prior to this Buffalo Marathon. So back in the 90s, I actually qualified to run it.
And we do have a high degree of qualifiers, regardless of the weather. The course is not a lot of turns, very straight, very fast. So a lot of PRs, a lot of bell ringing at the finish line.
So you know what's so funny is Rudy and I can tell who just PR'd by just their expression. We know the things PR people do, and we can also tell who just qualified for Boston. There's all sorts of fist pumping and leaping and stuff. It's very exciting, and we've got a ton in Buffalo. Lots of people qualifying for the big.
Not only are we a BQ, there's people who come out of Boston on Monday and they had a crappy Boston, and then they'll be looking for another race 6 weeks away, and they show up in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And we accept them.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. But now they're community spots, and they have to raise $500 for the hospital.
Nothing wrong with that. Everyone can do it. I know they can. Okay. How will starting groups, corrals work for the full marathon?
So the way it works in Buffalo is Niagara Square is a central meeting place for all athletes. It's where you're going to find all your porta-johns. So it's the best place to meet up. You hang out in Niagara Square until it's time to walk your way down Delaware Ave into the starting area, and you self-seed yourself based on your pace with the pacing flags. So we don't have corrals per se, like what these first 1,000 people get pushed forward. We're asking you to self-seed yourself in the starting area coming out of Niagara Square. So Niagara Square is the place to be in the morning.
And it is a 5-lane road, so there is plenty of room to get into that corral and get yourself seated. You're not going to, again, this is that big time feel. But with 5,000 or 6,000 people, it's very easy to manage and have a great experience.
And so I'm going to interject on behalf of people who may not have ever run a race and may not know the lingo. Self-seating means you're on the honor system. We want our absolute fastest athletes to be up in front. They're going to run a 5 to 6 minute mile. These folks are super quick. If you are burning up the pavement when you come back at 5K in 15 minutes, okay, you're that person. And we can usually tell who is that fast. We know up front. So we want those people there, not because they're more important, but just because when Rudy and I yell go, those people go. Everybody wants to be able to take off at their own most comfortable, aggressive pace. If we have the slow people in the front and then the speedsters in the back, I yell go. And then all of a sudden the speedsters are smashing into the slower people, eating their brains. And this is not The Walking Dead. So know that your bib has a chip in it. And even if I yell go and you don't cross the line for 4 minutes, you don't lose 4 minutes of time. Your bib triggers once you cross the start line. And then we know, oh, and Sophie Lastly just started. And then we track your specific time the whole way. So it's very important that people are respectful of the self-seating situation, because it provides everybody their most comfortable, exciting start, and nobody gets hurt. And that's really number one, is safety, right?
Yep. And
Yes.
we do have timing mats every 5K, and not only will you yell go, our technician team will have a very loud boom at the start line to get everybody started, since I can't have a flyover. So we got to settle for that along with the other fireworks.
The more noise, the better. Okay, we've got another great question. Can you pick up someone else's race packet if you bring their ID?
Yes, you can. You just need a copy of, you don't even need their ID. You just need a copy of their ID.
Okay. Easy. Is the pasta party online registration only, or day of as well?
Registration is online only. One of the things that we do for that, and I know for some people it's kind of a pain, we do not want to handle cash at the expo. We want everything in the bank. We don't want anybody to have some weird temptation. So we want everybody. Plus, we have to give the people a head count so they know what they're cooking for.
Yeah.
And the pasta party is fantastic. The food is really good. The company is wonderful. And I know you've got great speakers this year.
Yeah, this year we're going to have Western New York Heroes. They were introduced to us last year. They sponsor therapy dogs for vets. It's a great program. It's a great story, and they're going to be speaking at the pasta party. And I would encourage. I learned a lot when I went to their facility and met them last year. We sponsored a dog in conjunction with Hope Rises, one of the volunteer groups that volunteers for us. So we sponsored 2 therapy dogs, and the goal is to do it again this year. So come out to the pasta party, give them a listen. They're going to be out on the course volunteering. So, yeah, it's a great group. It's one of those give and take situations again.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Paul wants to know, where's the start for the half, Rich?
Same place as the start for the full marathon. The meeting place is in Niagara Square, and you self-seed yourself in that starting corral once you leave that Porta-John area, and the last-minute medical tent for Vaseline, Advil, whatever it is you might be. And then you make your way up and you find your pace sign and or your pacer, and be on your merry way once the gun goes off.
That's right. Now, everyone starts together, half and full, and the first leg of the relay. So we won't do just a start for the marathon and just a start for the half. It's everyone kicks off together.
Correct.
Right. And I would add to that, especially if where the start, Paul, I don't know if you're from Buffalo or not. If you're not and you're looking for a hotel still, the Hyatt still has a small, again, this goes to selling out, right? The Hyatt still has some rooms left. Hyatt is our host hotel, and it is literally 800 feet from the start line and 800 feet from the finish line. And it's a great hotel. They treat everybody really well. So I would strongly encourage, if anybody needs a room, get online. Oh, God, Rich fell over. I hope our operation, we need him. So, yeah, there you go. So Rich is back. We will be keeping him in the Hyatt on race weekend so he doesn't get hurt. But
bubble wrapped and all.
Yes, bubble wrapped.
Samaya, Buffalo born and raised, lives in Maryland. She's so excited to come home. We're excited to have you, Samaya.
Yep, it's gonna be a good time. Promise.
Look at her.
You'll come back.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say, look at her pretty smile.
Yep.
Did you see I tried to fly away?
Good
Better
Lord.
you than me, Rich. Okie dokie. Teresa wants to know, what about tracking? We have tracking that doesn't require a runner to carry their phone. This is the only thing I wished would change about the race.
We do not have that this year. Unfortunately, we have the type that does track with your phone only.
So explain, because I'm not sure, like her bib is her tracking. She doesn't have to run with a phone.
Well, what happens is the phone will track her GPS location, and that's how you can anticipate where they're on the course.
Okay.
And we are tracking times every 5K, but that will not be published. Well, technically it will be published online. So I guess technically you could track that.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And for anybody who's new to this, you don't have to carry a phone to the time. Your bib will time you throughout the course. That's only if your friends and family want to know where you are on the course.
Okay. And I'm going to throw it out. When I ran Boston, I got the most fabulous spy belt, SPI. I mean, there's quite a few manufacturers who make a bunch of great belts, Roof Sport and so forth. But you just actually tuck it in the little pocket and strap it around your hips, not your waist or your arms. I mean, you could put it in a whole bunch of places. And I never touched my phone while I was running that race. I just kept it on my hips and it was there for safety or whatever. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a big deal for you. Just set it and forget it, right?
You know, everybody carries their phone. It's a ridiculous percentage. I always encourage people, go out, you've done all the training, enjoy the day. You're going to be out there for whatever it is, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Go out, enjoy the city. If you look in the guide, and this is a great thing about the guide and our interactive map, if people haven't looked at it online, we have a lot of sites that people will be running by. There are key sites highlighted in the guide. There are more than are in the guide, but there's a little blurb like at mile 1, mile 2 about things to look for, right? And there's a lot. The architecture in Buffalo is incredible. It's a beautiful city to run through.
It is lovely, and the course is full of interesting things. Even the neighborhoods they run through, the houses are so gorgeous, really, really quaint and charming. Very different than Florida. I like looking at that stuff.
I would add, because it's not in the guide, and I have to get it in the guide. Right at Niagara Square, where you will be loading, is the federal courthouse. And when you're wandering around downtown, the courthouse is down there. And I learned this from a friend who's a federal judge. The courthouse has the Constitution etched in the glass. So if you go up to the glass at the courthouse, you can actually see the entire Constitution. It's a pretty cool feature.
That's really cool.
It's very lovely. Very lovely. I'm going to ask everybody watching, use the comment section now and let us know what race or races you will be running at Buffalo this year. So we asked before who has run already, or this is your first. Tell us which races you are going to be running. Okay, so Cal has another question. Is there a best place to watch for someone who needs to set up a chair and sit down the whole time?
Yes, you're going to want to be north of the start line, approximately 200 yards, seated on the, if you're looking down the finish line or the start line and you're in front of it, you're going to be on the left side of the start line. You'll sit there, you'll see everybody leave, and then you'll see everybody come back at about 10K. And then when that's done, you're going to want to pick up your chair and walk east about 2 blocks to the finish line.
And if then if people are running longer than that, going back to the guide, there's a whole section in the best way to see your runner throughout the city that will give you guidance on how to do that, whether you have a bike, and which are not allowed on the course, but there are side streets in the back and stuff. And if you have a bike and you're riding on the side streets, please wear a helmet.
But the Reimer hot corner, you get to see everybody leave and you get to see everybody come back, and then you just head east to the finish line.
You can't miss it. It'll be the orange and green tent with the rhino.
Nice. Nice.
Stuffed rhino, not a real rhino. Rich wouldn't let me have the real rhino.
He wanted to bring the rhino to the race.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, where are we going to put a rhino? Where are we going to put a rhino?
Do you want to hear
on the hot corner?
Right. Do you want to hear a random fun fact? Is about say yes first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
About 2 years ago, I was invited to this nature preserve animal rescue thing here in Gainesville, Florida, and they had the oldest rhinoceros in captivity there. I think his name was Hank or Henry. Oh, and he was so cute and he moved so slow, and he came over to me to get the rhino food, and I got to kiss him on the head. I actually have kissed a rhino right on its head. Yeah, there were some flies I had to move, but how neat is that, right?
We were only fortunate enough to feed the rhinos at the Buffalo Zoo. We weren't allowed to kiss them.
In fact, we were told to keep our appendages outside of the bars because they would break our arms.
They didn't. Oh yeah, of course. Keep your lips to yourself. Yeah, I accosted that rhino, but that rhino was too old to do anything about it. So,
of course, we were there when the mom had just had a baby, so she was very protective.
Yeah, don't mess with mamas. Okay, so here we go. I asked a question. We've got answers. We've got Shannon, one of my folks. She's doing the 5K. Can't wait to see you. Peggy with the half. Kim with the half, 97.
Wow.
Nice.
Kim's an animal. She is always doing something. We love Kim. GFC Coil, full. Glenn Lankowski, Marathon 111.
Yeah.
Look at him and that cute bunny. I bet he gave that bunny a kiss. Kara Gibbs for the half. Nikki Hennigan, half. Oh, Wafa. Again, I got to meet you, Wafa. Show up and introduce yourself because I don't know any other Wafas. Second,
maybe they'll be running dressed like that.
Maybe. Is he in Lederhosen? It looks like perhaps he's in
Lederhosen. Yeah, perhaps, yes.
I taught a Wafa.
You taught a Wafa. Is it perhaps Wafa Becker?
Maybe she got married. That wasn't her last name when I taught her.
Okay. I was thinking Wafa was a guy, but it could be the lady. I didn't even consider that. Because you know what? When people see Fitz, they instantly think I'm a guy.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, so that's okay. That's okay. First half marathon jitters for Paul. You're going to do so great, Paul. We've got you, right?
Yeah, we got him.
It's going to be a great experience.
Patrick Dalton, 5K and half marathon, 23rd Buffalo. And going further than that, my father had it since the 80s. Oh, I love
that's cool, Pat.
So great. We've got
that goes to your concept, Rich, of who's running the most races.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away, Greg.
Greg. I know what it's all about. Lead bike team, Scott. We love our cyclists. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott.
Okay, so Buffalo will be number 2 for Wafa.
Oh, nice.
Wafa, are you the guy or the girl? Use your comment section. Nobody else has to tell me if they're a guy or girl. Or I guess you could keep it to yourself if you don't want to talk about that. Okay. Shannon's on her way back. Nice. And then, let's see, Rachel's doing half in Tennessee this year in the end of April, and then Buffalo. That's perfect. Maybe she's going to do 1 half marathon a month. Do we think she should do 1 half marathon every month?
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
I'm more interested, Rachel, if you're doing Tennessee in April and Buffalo in May, to come up and find either Rich or I. Tell us about this comment and which one was better.
I think I actually know Rachel.
There you go.
All right.
Everybody else who knows Rich, he's a scary guy at the finish line.
That's right. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Nathan's doing the full and fiance. Congratulations to you on the future nuptials. That's very exciting. Oh, and also we love it when people propose at the finish line. So if you are in love and you have been considering a lifetime together with a special person, please invite them to the finish and let us know in advance so we can make it special. Yes?
Yeah, they need to get in touch with me.
That's right. Contact Greg. You can contact me. I'm at Fitzness. Rudy
Yeah,
and
or contact Fitz, and then I'll tell Rich about it at some point.
Oh, Heather and I. Oh, wait, half for Tim, and Heather's doing the full. Heather is
awesome.
taking off. She's a full blown beast, right?
100% beast mode. She's in recently.
Yeah, Tim has had some ankle issues, but Heather's not being conservative with her racing. Clayton, first marathon. Okay, and Star. You guys know Star and Darius Blackford?
No.
Okay, so they're a fantastic couple. I've seen them all over the country, but they were pacers in California when I met them. That's interesting that Star's first marathon was Buffalo, and this will be her 224th marathon this year.
That's
228
awesome.
for Darius. Yeah, they're an incredible running couple, just a very inspiring, very athletic. Oh my gosh, I love that everybody's answering these questions. Paul, with 27th full marathon. Paul looks like he was in the military. Paul, tell me if I'm wrong. Ronita, hills, guys?
No hills.
No hills in my book.
Yeah, no hills in my book.
No hills. 8th half, 4th Buffalo for Barbara. We dig it.
Nice.
Look how cute she is. I'm digging all the profile pictures.
She's in front of our scrim.
She is, yeah.
Okay. Darius has actually had a booth at Buffalo. That reminded me.
Oh, RD Columbus.
Okay. Good. Of course I know you.
Sorry.
No, you know what? If you're the RD of Columbus, you know exactly what I'm in. How many people know you that you don't remember?
Oh my goodness. Okay, back to questions. Is transportation easy to get around Buffalo that weekend?
When? Before the race? After the race? During the race? Before and after the race, yes, super easy. After the race, depending on where you're staying, everything's really within walking distance.
Except Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls would not be within walking distance after the marathon. But yeah, it's relatively easy. You should make sure you check out the athlete guide to find out where the parking is and different places that if you are going to use Uber or Lyft, that they can find an easy place to pick you up, that they're not trying to get over the course while athletes are still running.
But if you're staying downtown at, say, the Hyatt, you'll be able to pretty much walk to all of the major urban areas around the race course. I mean, I think the marina is about 2 miles away. It's a great walking city down there. So it's smaller than Boston, but has the same type of feel around it.
Yeah.
It's not New York.
I mean, from the Hyatt, what is the start line? 3 blocks?
800 feet.
And the finish line from the Hyatt?
800 feet. Weren't you paying attention at the beginning of this thing?
No, I said start and finish. Right. And then the expo. Same.
Well, that's the 800. It's the front door of the convention center. Yeah, so we're about 800 feet.
Yeah, it's doable. I gotta say, and I love New York, but when you're in Buffalo, you forget you're in New York. I guess in my mind, New York has city vibes, like the New York City thing. But when I'm in Buffalo, it's its own special place. And if you're coming in from far away, you should definitely take the time to go check out Niagara Falls. It's absolutely spectacular. It's one of those, it should be on the bucket list, right? It's our very first national park in the United States. And it's really cool. So
bring your passport so you can get to the Canadian side.
That's about a $35 to $40 Uber ride from Buffalo, depending on time of day.
You know what? If they're not renting a car and not paying for hotel parking fees, totally worth it. Totally 100%, worth it.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. And then if you do it's the Cave of the Winds, the walking thing, you get to kind of really walk into the falls, which is very fun. And the Maid of the Mist is the boat that goes there. It's just fabulous. And maybe I'm nerdy about it because I don't live there and it's not local to me, but it's super cool and everybody should do it. Okay. What else? We've got more comments here.
Who's not registered that wants to register? They better register soon.
Third marathon.
Rifath. Oh, so maybe we were together in LA. I didn't announce LA this year, Rifath, but Rudy and I have been there for many years, and perhaps we've already given you some noisy love. Let's see. Ronita, this is her first Buffalo 198th half marathon. Last one before the summer break.
It gets hot in those streets.
Here's a softball. Who wants to take this one?
Yes, the full marathon is on Sunday. Yes.
And so is the half, and so is the relay.
So is the relay.
Okay. And then Nathan's got another question. If we're driving on Saturday, will the race weekend activities affect getting to the Hyatt? You don't want to drive on Saturday because it's like walking across the street to your neighbor's house.
No, I think it means if they're driving in on Saturday and staying at the Hyatt.
The 5K takes place in the morning. By the time it's done, 9:30, quarter to 10, all the streets that would have been closed to vehicular traffic or controlled would be wide open again. So you would have no issue getting to the Hyatt at that point.
Right. The only thing I would say is get in early. I mean, especially if you're running I don't remember what you said. I think you said you were running the full. I mean, you don't want to be sitting in the car for 6 or 7 hours. We do have a /walk plogging shakeout run at 11:30 where people they sign up online, they get a free t-shirt, another free event, and they go and do 2 or 3 miles with this group, and they basically pick up trash in the city and help clean up the race course. It developed in Sweden. It's called plogging, and we had about 40 people last year, and I think right now we have about 50 or 60 people registered.
Such a fun thing to do. It's very, how do you make cleaning up trash sound fun, but you did and have, and everybody loves it.
Well, hey, if you're coming in from Virginia, you can come in on Friday because that's the Friday night party. So might as well be here for the whole weekend.
It's a very good party. Does anyone have any more questions? Know this, we will have a final pre-race instructions show. Is it May 21st, Greg?
Yes, 7:00.
Okay, so we're going to do pretty much this again on May 21st. My recommendations, if you've not run a big race before, is plan for a chilly morning. It usually heats up a bit towards the afternoon, and you don't have to bring your favorite Under Armour or Lululemon jacket and then carry it the whole way or toss it. Go to Goodwill right now and buy a sweatshirt you think is hideous for $2 and just plan to wear it until you start running, and then you can toss it off the side, and they gather those discarded clothing and donate them to people who need clothing. But prepare, bring a poncho. I don't know if we've never had anything.
Don't say
it.
You know, if everybody's prepared, it's not going to happen, right?
we had that awful word once on a Saturday, and we had to move the kids' race inside, but no, yeah.
A smidge, yeah.
It's not snow.
Look at this. Like everyone's like,
Kelsey.
Way to go, Fitz Kohler. Way to ruin it.
So, okay, as a rule, if something falls out of the sky and it's precipitation on race day, it's your fault, Fitz.
It's my fault. I'll take it.
But the race is still on.
Yeah, the race is still on.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it.
We will have, and for everybody on this call, we didn't use it last year. There were some FCC problems with the way our texting system was hooked up. You will be getting a text message from us leading up to the race a week or two before. We do use texting as a way of notifying runners, and we only use it for race day communications and race weekend communications. We do not use it for marketing. So please don't block us. And pay attention to your phone.
Smart.
May 7th, 1989. It was just posted. It snowed 6 inches overnight, and I ran the marathon that day. It was horrible.
Is that when you qualified for Boston?
No, it was
Oh,
not that day.
But,
That
it was 1989. We've had global warming. It's not going to snow.
I was on a PR and I lost 6 minutes in the last 2 miles because I was so cold and delirious. There was a person standing in the road and I'm running towards this person thinking, why is this idiot standing in the road? That was my exact thought. And the guy goes, turn right. It was the volunteer getting ready to direct me. That's how out of it I was on that day.
heat or cold, too much of either is not a good thing. All right,
Yep.
we've got a stern warning, and I'm so happy he did it. Rudy Novotny, the other half of Team Noisy, he says absolutely, positively, no bandits. You don't want to meet him at the finish line without your bib. That's right. So this is a event for registered runners only. If you have not registered, you are stealing. You are a thief of the event. You are taking from wonderful causes. You are stealing resources from people who have paid for it and potentially emergency services from people who will need it. So if you would like to run on that day and you haven't registered, you can go for a run. You just go for a run somewhere else. And you are not welcome through our start, our course, or definitely our finish line. No babies, no boyfriends, no best friends, nobody holding your hand other than yourself and possibly another registered runner. Have I missed anything, gentlemen?
I would add, and maybe it's not the greatest thing to say, for the past few years, our bibs have been the same. And Rich and I have talked about it. It made it very easy for somebody to potentially bandit the year before. They could use the same bib. This year, not so much.
Good.
You will not get into the corral if you do not have a 2024 bib on. So that's just, I mean, it's not a threat. It's just we're trying to take care of the people who actually paid to be here.
Yeah.
And, we thank everybody who supports this race and supports this community and supports Rich and I and all of our volunteers and all of our sponsors. It's a great show and it's a great time putting it on. And, it's a great way to spend Memorial Day weekend. It's how I've spent Memorial Day weekend for the last 18 or 19 years. So.
And if you see me race weekend, I might have a scowl on my face, but I really enjoy what I do. So please take a moment to say hello. I'm not a jerk. That's my thinking face.
Yes, I will wholeheartedly say that when it's race weekend, Rich is all business and he does look mean, but he is really not. I mean, I thought he was mean when I first met him and, he is
Then he
definitely.
emailed me.
Yeah, then I emailed him, and Rich made the mistake of emailing me back. So, and this is where we are now. So, but yeah, you can't have a better person in charge of the safety for everybody. I mean, our goal remains everybody who starts, finishes, and goes home safe with their family, and all the family goes home. The spectators, the volunteers. It's not a good day if everybody doesn't go home, and we would put up our safety protocols, our medical tent. We have registered nurses from Kaleida at every aid station. We would put up our aid at our race against any race in the country. We have 4 nurses at every station, and their requirement is they have to be able to run far enough to get halfway to the next aid station because somebody will come from the other direction if somebody goes down on the course, and they will get to you a lot faster than an ambulance would. And in the finish line, we have 25 or 30 ER doctors waiting if anybody has a problem. Our ER doctor oversees Highmark Stadium and the NFL games, and his goal is to not transport anybody to the hospital. So we have, knock on wood, and I don't want to jinx ourselves, have been very lucky, but part of that luck is planning and what we put out on the course. So.
Yeah, it's a spectacular setup. That medical tent is behind me and they're fully equipped and hopefully people are dealing with blisters and knee pain, but there's sometimes IV fluids and everybody is very well taken care of. All right, We've got one softball again. Where do we pick up the bibs?
It is, I hate to harp on it. All of that information is in the guide. The bibs are picked up between 9 and 6 on Saturday in the convention center. We have an expo with some 50 vendors. We ask you to, stop at all the vendors and see them. And then if for some reason you cannot get to town, and this is something that started during COVID, we had stopped Sunday morning bib pickup. We have reinstated it this year. There will be 2 or 3 volunteers on Sunday morning in the convention center lobby between 5:30 and 6:15 for anybody who had a late flight in, found they couldn't get it, forgot. They can go and get their bibs. But please be aware, at that bib pickup on Sunday morning, there will be no shirts. Those shirts will then be picked up at the post-race party. Bib pickup on Sunday morning is meant to be fast because people are turning, and it's turn and go. You got to get in the corral. This is not, oh, the large shirt doesn't fit me. Will you hold it until after the race? No. Go to the post-race party. And that's another thing. As we wrap this up, the convention center, for the first time, I think, since 2019, is not under construction. Yeah. Franklin Street is not under construction, which has been a major obstacle for us and our post-race party. We have a great post-race party upstairs at the convention center after the full and the half. Last year, we were criticized because we didn't have any food at the finish line because it was all upstairs. This year, we'll have some light snacks at the finish line, but all the real food and the free beer is upstairs.
Who makes that free beer?
And Mile 27's coming back, the original blend, not the stuff they served last year. So we are encouraging everybody to make their way back upstairs to the convention center and celebrate your accomplishments. There's a stretch zone up there. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. I have one thing to add before we wrap things up. This is the answer I was hoping for. It's a girl, and her daughter calls her Waffle. That's right.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wouldn't have been able to sleep tonight wondering who is Waffle. So Waffle, come say hello to me. Okay, gentlemen, Rich Clark, we will meet again May 21st to have our final pre-race instructions. Is there anything you'd like to leave people with tonight?
No, other than I hope the rest of your training goes very well, and we look forward to seeing you on May 21st, but more importantly, Buffalo Marathon weekend in the city of Buffalo, where everybody's welcome.
Yeah. Greg Weber?
I would like to encourage everybody who is not registered to register as soon as possible. I will put out a post that says prices are going up in 14 days. But more importantly, I'll give away one new thing. We're doing something the other races have been doing for years. We are printing a backdrop with everybody's name on it that they can go get their picture on it. But guess what? We have to order that. So people need to get registered. And I think my drop dead date on that one is May 1st. So if you want to be one of those people standing, pointing at your name with the Buffalo Marathon logo, as crazy as it sounds, people love it. Got to get registered, or you'll be looking for your name going, where is it? And then you'll be looking for me going, my name's not on the wall. And I'll be like, when did you register?
Yeah, and then a little wise ass. Thanks, Tim. Start training soon.
Not for Tim. Tim will just go do the half marathon and not do any training, knowing him.
Yeah, you've got a good 30 days to train and 10 to taper, so you're good.
From couch to half marathon in one night.
He's training for Ironman Lake Placid. Who's he kidding?
Hey, you guys are awesome. This was really fun, very clear, very fun. I think everyone benefited for the new folks who haven't done this yet and are feeling a little bit of anxiety. Turn that anxiousness into excitement. This is all wonderful. There's nothing here that isn't flipping fabulous and welcoming and sweet and kind and exciting. Cancer's scary, war is scary. We see horrible things going on all around the world. This is something positive and just enriching to focus on. So turn that nervous energy into excitement. 39 days you get to run in Buffalo. It's going to be incredible. My announcing partner, Rudy, and I know Greg and Rich would love to meet you all. So if you see us, say hello. Even if they look busy and intimidating, say, hi, I'm so-and-so from wherever I'm from. And it'll make
I don't have anything to do on race weekend. Rich won't even give me a radio.
Yeah, Greg's around for autographs and selfies, but the rest of us are working.
The one thing I would add to that is, and we do this, I mean, I think, Fitz, we were the first ones that you and I came up with this format for all your other races.
Yeah.
If people are anxious and they have questions, go to the guide, look at the guide, post a question on Facebook in our group. If you can't get the answer you're looking for, go to the help section of our system. And if you still can't find it under the FAQs, send a question and we'll do our best to answer it, because we do want you to have a great experience. And there is no stupid question, right? The only questions that frustrate me a little are the ones where you didn't read the guide and it's clear, right? Sometimes there's a question where it wasn't clear in the guide, but I think most of them are pretty clear for the easy ones. But there will be people out there that have some questions that they're just afraid to ask. It might be their first race experience. And so we're here to make it a great experience for you.
Indeed. And this video will remain online in perpetuity. Nobody's pulling it down, so you can come back and watch it round the clock. You can see our 3 fabulous faces over and over and over and relive this live stream if you want. You can watch it every day until race day. And I think we've answered a whole bunch of questions. We've got a lot more answering to do May 21st. And I'm going to, all right, we got to answer this one before we go. Yes. Can you bring your dog? Yeah. Absolutely. As long as you stop by she stops by the announcer stage so we can get kisses and cuddles, because Rudy and I
and the dog is on a leash, and if the dog is antsy in crowds, just beware that there will be a lot of people around the finish line, and just use good judgment.
Yeah. But we love spectating dogs. Dogs are great cheer squad members, right?
Yes. And hopefully next year we'll have the dog race back.
Yeah.
Hey Fitz, I'm now having the sunlight issue.
Now you're getting it. You've got that disease. Mine is.
Sun is out in Buffalo.
Yes, it is.
Out in Buffalo. Okay. I love you both, and I'm kicking you out.
Peace out.
I love you. Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.